begin in the nation's capital, where leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities are in a crucial meeting to decide the fate of students who have been out of school for the past 8 months. President of ASUU, Emmanuel Oshodeke, on Tuesday hinted that there is light at the end of the tunnel and the strike will soon be called off after meeting with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila. ASUU has been on strike since February the 14th, and the demands are funding for the revitalization of public universities, payments of earned academic allowances, reconstitution of the federal government ASUU 2009 renegotiation committee, adoption of UTAs, constitution of visitation panels. Other demands are proliferation of universities, withheld salaries and non-remittance of check-off dues, 26% budgetary allocation to the education sector. Let's turn our attention to politics. Presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has presented a draft manifesto to the Progressives Governors Forum, National Working Committee and the Presidential Campaign Council. This was one of the outcomes of Wednesday's meeting with the governors, NWC members and PCC in Abuja. Shortly after the meeting, spokesman of the Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo, said the manifesto is more than 90% ready and will be unveiled soon. Our correspondent, Olawakon, reports.
Asiwaju Bola Tinubu arrives Transcorp Hilton in Abuja with his running mate to attend a crucial meeting to deliberate and adopt the party's manifesto. The meeting comprises members of the APC National Working Committee, Presidential Campaign Council, and virtually all the progressive governors. The closed-door meeting lasted for a few hours, after which spokesman of the Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo, told the media that the manifesto will soon be made public as the deliberations were geared towards strengthening the party's campaign documents.
What we did today was to review the draft of our manifesto. Our candidate is not a candidate that operates on his own. He tries to carry everybody along. And so he presented the draft to all the stakeholders today, the manifesto. We looked at it, and guess what? Almost all the stakeholders gave that draft more than 90% pass mark.
He said the party is united and will soon hit the ground running for its campaign.
Our campaign is like maneuvering a 50-ton trailer into the highway. And once we hit the highway, we hit the highway. So that is what we are doing. The president is the chairman of the campaign council. We are going to take his diary into consideration in picking and choosing the dates. But we are all virtually agreed that we are going to hit the streets very soon.
We are in sync with all of the segments of the party. The NWC, as you can see, the governors were here, the PCC, we're on the same page. And just as the spokesperson has said, we are about to launch. So any moment from now, you will be hearing the fullness of our program.
The party reacted to allegations that APC is mounting pressure on INEC not to use bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, for the 2023 election.
That is absolute nonsense. It's what you call poppycock. And these are the words of a drowning party spoken by a drowning man with a drowning candidate. There is nothing like that. We're above board. We're serious about what we're trying to do. We are going to achieve our objectives. We're going to win this election fair and square. And they are the ones that have lost 5 governors. They are the ones that can't get their party leaders to come to their rallies or to their presidential inaugurations. We don't have that challenge. We're working slowly but surely as one together. Everybody's coming together, and I'm very proud to be part of this.
This meeting with major stakeholders of the party attests to the unity in the ruling All Progressives Congress, and this is expected to enhance victory at the polls next year. Ola Awakon, TVC News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the Labour Party has unveiled its Presidential Campaign Council comprising of 1,234 members. At the unveiling ceremony in Abuja, Director General of the campaign team, Doyin Okupe, says no presidential candidate can shore up to the performance of Peter Obi. Abida Lawal reports.
The 2023 presidential election is less than 5 months away, and the momentum is growing. The election is coming at a time when the entire country is intensely charged, and the Labour Party believe its candidate has what it takes to turn things around. Here had the unveiling of the campaign team, both the presidential candidate and his running mate are not present. The Director General of the Campaign Council, Donyo Kukwe, expressed confidence that Mr. Peter Obi has 15 million secured votes ahead of the elections.
Let me assure Nigerians that as we commence the campaign for the 2023 elections in earnest, our party and our candidates will remain committed to the honest, clean, and issue-based engagements with the Nigerian people, whose mandate we seek in order to turn around the fortunes of this great country.
National Secretary of the Labour Party, Clement Ojukwu, announced a 1,234-member presidential campaign that will mobilize electorates for a successful presidential campaign. The presidential campaign team will be led by AIG retired Muhammad Zaliwa.
I want to present to you the chairman of the campaign council in the person of Alhaji AIG Muhammad Zaliwa as the chairman of the campaign council. Also, my humble self, Clement Ojukwu, as the Secretary General of the Campaign Council, Barrister Julius Abure, the Chairman of Labour Party, is the Chairman of the Advisory Council. Dr. Doi Okube here present is the Director General of the Campaign Council.
They urged the Independent National Electoral Commission should ensure it leaves above board and clear the air about an alleged agent deployed to truncate the bimodal voter accreditation system to some section of the country. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
Away from politics, with heavy rains ravaging parts of the country, this year's floods have been marked as the worst Nigeria has ever witnessed. But the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development says it plans to adopt the recently approved National Flood Emergency Preparedness and Response Plan to mitigate the effect of flood disaster. 31 states and the FCT have been gravely impacted by the 2022 floods, affecting over 1.4 million people, with about 500 deaths recorded. Moyo Thomas reports.
Parts of the flood across the country is already biting hard. The Lokoja Bridge, which is the link road between the north and south, has been flooded, making commuting difficult. This has greatly affected trade, as exchange of goods between the north and the south is now an Herculean task. It has also resulted in long queues in fuel stations in Abuja and beyond. While people are still groaning under this discomfort, the flood has wrought even worse disasters in some states and communities.
Another flooding issue.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs briefs journalists on the issues of the flood. He says already 790,254 people are displaced and moved out of their locations. 1,546 persons among the displaced were injured.
Furthermore, 44,099 houses were partially damaged, 45,249 houses totally damaged, and 76,168 hectares of farmland partially damaged, while 70,566 hectares of farmland are completely destroyed by the deluge.
The National Emergency Management Agency have been able to provide relief materials to support over 315,000 of the displaced persons. Worse still are the farmlands affected by the floods. This may result in food insecurity in the year to come. The Permanent Secretary says the economic loss cannot be ascertained as the rains are not yet over, but an assessment of loss to farmlands, poultry facilities, livestock and fisheries is ongoing. Many at this briefing wonder why Nigeria always waits for these flood disasters to happen before actions are taken. But the Permanent Secretary corrects this notion, insisting states were already pre-warned about impending floods.
All the meetings have been held between Mr. President and governors, and the minister has attended meetings with the governors to tell them the specific villages and communities. I have all the exhibits of letters.
He assured that the government is making all effort to mitigate the impact, but would need public support to achieve this. Moyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.